Let's get right into it. This is Shoulder Tap, the risk manager himself, Mr. Mick Geronimo. Mick, welcome to Shoulder Tap. Let's get right to it. Are we seeing a lot of green, a lot of red on the board? What are we seeing? We're seeing a big recovery rally, V-shaped bounce off the lows in equities today. What are we seeing there on the board on your end?
Mixed board today. We got some people that are riding out some big ones, and then we've had some people that have, been up money that, didn't expect the rebound that we're seeing right now. So mixed board, but I got some good stuff to talk about. Speaking of rebounds, yet last week I was talking about how things were very bloody Monday, then Tuesday, then Wednesday. Thursday was a really good day for our live group of traders. Friday was a really good day for our live group of traders. So we stopped the bleeding towards the end of the week last week with some big days from some of our traders, a couple of which I'll be speaking about today. But this week it's kind of a half and half, which is what we normally see. Everybody's trading different strategies on different time frames, different markets, despite it mostly being the equity indices and the correlation between S&Ps and NASDAQ. So a lot of people are experiencing the same things on the downswings and the upswings of these markets. And, it's looking okay. Speaking of okay, or better than okay, I want to talk about a couple people, give some shout outs, starting with Joanne. Joanne, someone that we spoke about. I think I did two cards for her last week. She had a fantastic week last week. It was a $26,000 week for her. She's up another $8,000 today, Andre.
Yeah, dude.
And that's not even trading too much. She's doing small work in the live account. So 26,000 last week, another 8 today. That's 34,000. And getting to share that is that much sweeter because when I shared her on the trading card early last week, she was struggling and she was close to she had her back against the wall in that account. So she completely turned that around. Very happy to share that shout out.
Absolutely.
We had Chung up 29,000 last week. Raphael up 26,000 last week. So despite it being a bloody week early on, we did have people that were, taking lots of money out of the live markets. Asha, I've got a shout out for them, up $800 on day one in their live account. Not a huge P&L, but off to a good start, and that's what I like to see. Jazeel up $6,400 today. We spoke about them last week. And then Dennis up $2,600 today. So we've got some people doing well.
I love it.
A lot of smaller negative numbers today on the boards, but things are looking overall pretty decent for a lot of people and better decent for some. I want to dive into the trading cards, even though. What do you got?
Oh, question. Well, I've been seeing Joanne's name pop up a lot on the leaderboards. A lot. Raphael as well. I just want to know, when you guys see that, do you guys reach out to her? Does she reach out to the risk team? Do you guys chat at all, or you just get out of her way and let her do her thing? When you see,
she's in a lot like that. She's in a live account, so the traders that are in live accounts have direct access to the risk line. So that door kind of swings both ways. So we have not reached out to her since she's been, trading last week. However, prior to that is a time that we would have reached out. Myself specifically, not doing so much outbound calling anymore with things that I'm involved in. That's what we've got the risk team here for, though. They're actively calling the traders, both for good and bad. The shoulder taps or the shout outs. We want our traders locking in profits and limiting losses, and a lot of the outbound calls are to kind of manage the downside, because there's a lot of people that might be hitting daily loss. Basically, we want people to stay in their accounts as long as possible, and usually intervention is needed more so when it's people that are getting kicked around a little bit in the markets, more so than people doing well. But that all goes to say that people that are doing really, really well in the live markets, we want them locking in those big winning days, because I've shared a number of examples on this television segment itself that, we've got these people that are up, big days. We don't want the big days to turn into losing days. And it's, I know you would agree that one of the worst things you could possibly do is turn a large winning day into a negative day or give back much of it. It's one of my big talking points, and a lot of the examples that I share on this segment is locking in at least half of what your P&L high is for the day on significant profits. And then as those profits become more significant, locking in a larger percentage than 50%. It's what we're here to do, manage our money. Number one, we want to preserve our capital. Number two, we want to take money out of the markets. But as we're taking money out of the markets, we've got to make sure that, if I'm up a certain amount on a day, I got to be walking away up a certain amount too. And that's how traders, ratchet those account balances higher and higher. And that's what we need to be doing. And a lot of people do need, that intervention to do so, because for traders who have not found themselves having large winning days like, they might be having in a live account here and there, many of them are in a position where it's like, well, what do I do? I'm up $12,000. Why don't I hit 15, or why don't I shoot for 20? Right. And in the act of trying to accomplish that next big round number as a feat, you might give back that $12,000. So we want to make sure that those big P&Ls stay big P&Ls. All the while, traders, if you see something, see a good opportunity, you want to be able to pounce on it. But there's got to be a line in the sand where, okay, I'm going to take advantage of this trading opportunity. But if that one or the next one doesn't pan out, I need to make sure I'm still walking away whole to a degree. And, that's where people, tend to need a little bit of, hey, the tap on the shoulder, a little insight from the outside looking in, because as you know, as I know, as everybody here viewing knows, that emotions are involved when money's on the line and when you're trading. And, we've talked a lot during this segment about how to curb those emotions, but, even people with a game plan, can make exceptions or deviate from the plan, which, goes to my point that I always also share is, there's an exceptional amount of discipline required in being successful as a trader when the money's on the line. So, I could go on and on for days about that kind of stuff, but I think we've got a couple fun cards to talk about. So if it's okay with you, Mr. Dre, let's move on and get into them.
Who do we got first, Mick?
Edward. I want to pull up Edward's card. So I've got Edward's trade report up. I got my notes on him queued up. Edward, yes, Bloomingdale, Illinois, not too far away. When I hear blooming something, I always think of Bloomington, Indiana. I've had a few wild party weekends there, going out there for Little 500. Yes, Little 500. Some war stories from there too.
Same.
All right, Little 5. But Ed is Andre. He's been with us since January of 2013, and he's a name that's not really been on my radar too much lately, which makes it that much more exciting to talk about him today. And I'm not talking about him for a shoulder tap today. This is a shout out. Ed's been trading really well. He's narrowed his focus down to the NASDAQ only. And in his live account, he is only 6 short days, but with his account balance and the P&L, I've heard from JD that he's climbed from number 208 on the leaderboard up to number 5 on the leaderboard. Wow. So let's unpack a little bit of his trading. And actually, most recently, going back to what I was talking about early, how the end of the week last week for the live accounts, like specifically Thursday and Friday, is kind of really where we turned the bloodbath from Monday through Wednesday around. Ed was one of the leading contributors to that after putting up over $16,000 on Friday. So Ed, so far in these 5-6 short trading days in his live account, he's put up 50% winning days. Best day in the account, over $16,000, like I just mentioned. Worst day, only minus $1,570.
All day.
He's had 3 losing days in this live account. Remember, at 50% winning days, only 6 days, 3 of which have been, down days. So his worst one being about half of his daily loss limit allowed. The other losing day was $1,500, and then he had a $955 losing day. So I like this a lot from Ed because it's a 150K. He's got a $3,000 daily loss limit, and he's one of the few traders that I talk about that isn't going all the way up to the $3,000 daily loss limit. Just because we say you can risk a $3,000 on a day doesn't mean he's doing it. And he showed us in half of his trading days that he's not doing it. So that's very good there. Ed, keep that going. If you can make $16,000 in a day, or some of the other notable winning days, $5,000 and then $2,400, but you're only risking $1,500 at worst.
Yep.
Recipe for success. It's an absolute recipe for success. He could maintain 50% winning days if he keeps putting up these same net metrics. And, come the end of this year alone, we'd be talking about someone that's not just in the number 5 spot, but, a number 1, number 2 contender.
Love it.
So back to these trading days. The average winning day, and again, it's just been 3 of them so far out of the 6. Average winning day is almost $8,000, $7,960. And then those average losses that I rattled off individually, average losing day, $1,344. So
amazing.
That's really good. And not only is that really good, if you look at the winning trades, which he's got 30% winning trades, only 30% winning trades, which is a little bit on the low side for what you would see out of a successful trader. But he's got the math on his side, which is, contributing to this, number 5 spot that he's probably very comfortably in here. So 30% winning trades, Andre. The risk reward here is 3-1 per contract, which is very, very good. $1,750 per contract on a winner, while he's only risking $565. This is really, really good. Short hold, and I think that risk reward of $1,750 on the wins is more so on a per trade basis than a per contract basis, even though it's broken down per contract, because Ed's still trading on a short time frame. 4 minutes on the winners, 1 minute on the losers. So I'm not surprised to see the low percent of winning trades, but by gosh, he's making them work for him. And he's doing only 9 trades per day, which is kind of a healthy amount of trades, but an exceptionally healthy amount of trades for someone that's doing the NASDAQ and trading on such a short time frame. Usually when you see 4-minute hold times on the winners and 1-minute hold times on the losers, you see a lot more trades during the day.
Yeah, you do.
The short, the short.
Yeah, you see, when I see this type of, when I see the the winning trade percentage with the risk reward, this speaks to me. This Edward is a type of trader that will take the trade, get their 5 on him. If it doesn't go their way, they have tight stops. They let their winners run, but their stops are tight. So that's why their stops are tight. So if you do get stopped out, you get stopped out. But they're only taking, you said 9 trades a day, huh?
Yeah, which is nice. I mean,
this is interesting.
They are. So Ed, with all his time here at Topstep, has definitely refined what it is that he's doing. Again, I mentioned he's been on the live side of things before. He's been a funded trader of ours before, but I haven't seen his name really pop out or stand out so much recently until now. And, everything I'm sharing with you, with you, Andre, and our viewers, it's very standout-ish. So, 9 trades a day. And like I said, it's probably on a per trade basis with the, $1,700 plus per trade in wins. He's going all in, all out, about 5 contracts. So
I love it.
The hold times, while they're short, for a scalper, his time spent in winning trades is 4 times that of the losing trades, which I like. Shows me he's patient with the winners, even though it's a short time frame, and impatient with the losers. I already mentioned I really like that he's not using the full daily loss limit. We just talked about how I like that he's pretty selective for a scalper. And as far as areas to improve go, usually I find something to talk about for areas.
What do you do here? Yeah, what do you do?
I got
here,
nothing. I'll just say it. I've got nothing. I mean, he's limiting the risk to the downside, and it's only been a small sample size of trading days. But I don't have anything. I mean,
I don't either,
and I'm happy to say that. I'm proud to say that because it's a good feeling, for someone who can be like myself, who can be very analytical. I mean, as far as this segment goes, it's my job to be. I don't have anything. Ed, keep doing what you're doing.
You did it. You did it. You left Mick speechless.
Being selective. Yeah, we'll see what happens in the next 6 days. But, considering that he's, had losing days half the time, and he's obviously got this personal daily loss limit on himself.
Yeah.
He's implementing his own restrictions. This is something for everybody out there to take note of. Put your own restrictions on yourself. We've got a pretty
this,
yeah. If Ed's watching, what?
Yeah, if Ed's watching this, give yourself a pat on the back. Good. Everyone say good job to Ed in the chat, man. This is a beautiful looking card. Yeah, the winning trade percentage low, but that risk reward, like mixed up, keeping the math on your side. All right, moving on. We got about 6 minutes left here in the shoulder tap. This one goes by fast, Mick. Who do we got next, Mick?
Well, let's talk about Shia. Now, Shia is a shoulder tap, unlike Ed, who was a shout out here. Shia is live account, NASDAQ. Not the prettiest trade report. There's a number of things I wanted to talk about here. They started off with a nice, healthy account balance coming over from the XFAs, but it's the trading activity that we're going to dive into that wanted me to showcase this because net P&L on this count is, I will say before we get going, they're up $1,000 today, which I'm very happy about. They needed that. They had they didn't snap a 3-day losing streak, but last week there was a 3-day losing streak for over $10,000, about 10,000, which is, kind of a no-no. I didn't like what I saw on Friday. They had a little less than a $6,000 balance on Friday. They hit the daily loss limit. So they lost over 50%. They risked over 50% of what they had in their account in a single trading day. That is not sustainable. Nope. If today wasn't a winning day and today was one of these daily loss limits, like their average losing day is at the loss limit, they'd be out of an account. So I'm happy that she turned today around and put up some bucks. But even at $1,000, that's right around where their best winning day is, which there's nothing wrong with $1,000 winning day being your best day. But you can't have your average losing day be 3 times what your best day is. And they've been in the markets, today's day 11. So everything we've seen, let me just rattle off some of the stats here. Best day, $1,100. Worst day, $3,100. Average winning day, only $732. And the average losing day is, 4 times greater than that. It's $3,080 is the average losing day. Shia, until you can put up bigger winning days, even if you don't put up bigger winning days, that average losing day from this point on needs to be $700 or less. And if you got $6,000 or less than $6,000, you can't be risking $3,000. That's a good way to put yourself out of an account and go all the way back to square one in the trading combine, which is the last thing that we want from the traders that we call up to the prop group. You get the live account, keep the live account. Don't trade in a manner that will put that account at risk. Right. It's your job to stay in that account. So some of the other things that, I think are contributing to some of these, metrics that aren't looking too great, we'll go down to a granular level and look at the trades by trade. So 61% winning trades. Now, Andre, you can be very successful with 60% winning trades. We want to aim for 100% winning trades, or like you and with your history at the prop firm, your principal there said, look for 90% winning trades 90%. Or winning days. But the risk reward here is backwards, Andre. Yes, on a per contract basis, they're only taking down $220 in the NASDAQ that they're trading while they're risking $410. So time to get a little bit more strict, a little bit more stingy, no loosey-goosey. Don't risk 400 to make 200. The math is not on your side if you're right only 60% of the time. You've got to be right.
All right, Mick. Mick, well, yeah, let's get over to our last card. We're getting a little bit tight on time because we were sitting there admiring Edward's beautiful trading card. We have Shia's card. Shia getting the shoulder tap. Edward getting the shout out, but we got one more card to go. So Mick, I want to make sure we touch on all 3 of our traders today.
If we're that quick on time, I'd say we just skip the third card for tomorrow because I want to be able to take a little time with the next one, John G. While we didn't get to you today, very happy you're up $5,000 today. I will say new equity highs for John and in the account, and they had a stellar week last week. But we'll save all that because I don't want to rush through it. That is a shout out, John, on his next card, one of our live traders. So
Mick,
let's not rush ahead.
Mick, I love where your head's at. That was a great executive decision. Now, Shia, okay, we're talking about Shia. Edward, beautiful card. Shia, not so great. We have things to work on. Mick, I think we nailed that one. I think you made the right decision. We will have John G on for tomorrow then, yeah?
Yes, we will.
All right, great, Mick. Well, thank you so much. We got group coaching coming up next. Here, the risk manager himself, Mick. Mick's in a pretty good mood for a Monday. I mean, we saw some blood there on the last couple days, right? How's your mood? 1 to 10. How you feeling right now?
I give it an 8. I'm good.
Beautiful.
How you feeling, Andre? You're
I'm
bright,
okay.
bright-eyed and bushy-tailed today.
I played a little golf over the weekend, so I'm a happy boy. We actually won our scramble. We won our scramble with a 9 under. I know it's not the greatest score. It wasn't the greatest competition, but we won the scramble with a 9 under. So I'm happy. We got the trophy, and we're going to try to defend that title next year. Anyways, Mick, I'm going to see you at that Lake Lawn tournament too, by the way, right?
Oh, you betcha.
All right. Awesome. Great stuff. We got group coaching coming up next. Mick Ronald, thank you so much. Risk manager in the house. That is Shoulder Tap again. Group coaching coming up next.